So I tried a test run earlier, or actually did a live stream earlier, and didn't record it, and didn't have it set inside of Twitch to record it as well. So yeah, that is forever lost into the land of obscurity. Oh well, worst things can happen, I guess. We can always record another one. Alright, so I'm just going to start scribbling here. Hopefully this is recording. When somebody jumps in, let me know. Alright, so I think there's a little bit of delay there, but alright, what are we going to draw here? I gotta start getting some topics lined up, so when people do start watching, hopefully anytime now, start commenting and let me know what things you'd like to see covered, and we'll start picking topics and move forward from there. Alright, until then, I'll just start sketching some stuff. Yeah, hopefully this is recording. I can never tell until somebody comments or does something. Why is that? What is the deal? It looks like it's recording. I can see it on the screen there. Alright, anyways. So, just so you know, some of it's going to be redundant because I recorded this earlier. I thought I was recording, and I was saying this stuff earlier to get the ball rolling. So, I wanted to start off and get a video on here, live stream, whatever, and let people know kind of the formatting, so like what my attempts will be with this live stream setup. So, like the stuff I was doing on YouTube, this will be a way to help share comic book art tutorials along with digital painting to anybody that's wanting to learn that type of stuff. And we'll work into all kinds of other stuff like fan art drawings, art critiques, just a little everything. But ultimately, the basis of it is kind of tutorial basis, and we'll just go from there. And the other stuff will be more just having a good time and drawing whatever. Just experiment and see what happens with it. But it's also I need your guys' feedback. Whatever ideas you think would be great, definitely listening, and then we'll just kind of take it from there. So I don't know, in this video, what we could do is just starting off with whatever kind of sketch here, girl's face from a profile, but we could do some monster art, or if you guys got any particular questions you want answered, then just chime in and let me know. So obviously using Sketchbook Pro here, which I love to use, amazing program. I just finally updated it. I don't even know what version this is at now, but I think you can go here. Preferences, is that it? I'm not sure where it's at, but it's the newer version. I want to say it's 8. Maybe they just call it Pro now, instead of having all the version numbers on it. But great perspective tools, draws really well, very responsive. One of the reasons why I use it when I live stream is because it is so responsive, and the interface is very, just easy to navigate. It's not all complex and, huge rollout menus and crazy stuff, in some ways it's a bit more simplistic than some of the other programs in that same regard. That's why its interface is so easy to deal with. But yeah, it runs really good. It doesn't lag. You know, it's like right now I'm streaming, recording, drawing, and ultimately getting no lag. It's still very responsive. So yeah, that's cool. Does anybody out there just want to make sure the quality's good? Can you guys hear me? You know, it's funny how it always takes a minute to get these things rolling. I should probably start a bit earlier. We're going to try to nail down a schedule. Oh, good. Glad you can hear. Thank you, TR4E3. But yeah, we'll try to nail down a schedule. For now, it's going to start off as like probably more than likely it's going to be a Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. At least that, you know, that's my time or whatever. And then we'll work into maybe Mondays at 5, like today, and then, you know, just go from there. See if it's something that's viable and get enough people supporting the channel or the live streams, and if so, then we'll just keep going. But it's like I always wonder like how much people really want this type of stuff. You know, I mean, I know there's a select few that enjoy it and things like that, but then, you know, you see on this platform it's like predominantly gaming and that sort of entertainment, and you know, where this is maybe slightly entertaining, but it's more educational, I would think, than entertaining. But I don't know. I'll try to be entertaining at times, but you know, just not that funny. Unfortunately, I'm no Jim Carrey. If anybody remembers who that guy is. Yeah. So what's the word on the streets, everybody? What would you like to see? Do you want me to just keep picking stuff and drawing, or you got some ideas over there? My total of 9 viewers, it looks like. Whoa, I'm almost at double digits here. It's getting exciting. I don't know what I'm doing with the hair here. I think I'm trying to like make a design out of it and border the face at the same time. Something. A knight would be cool. Maybe something from Skyrim. Yeah, I could do like a knight's helmet or the upper body or something like that. I'm not real familiar with Skyrim, but I know what you're talking about. I'm obviously aware of the game. I just never played it, so forgive me if my depiction isn't quite spot on or anything. But I'll just show you how I would do a knight's helmet, maybe the upper torso as well. So we'll see how I get here. With these, I like to define a center line. Actually, let me do that. Define the center. Kind of just do these crisscross for registration, basically. Trying to think of the one I did play. I don't play games a lot, just because it usually interferes with me drawing as much as I like to. But one I did not just play, but it was Knights and all that. It was pretty intense. Or was Oblivion. I got into that one pretty heavily for a while there. Then I had to stop that because it was just like, you know, taking over kind of thing. That's my only problem with games. I'm like way too obsessive about them, so I have to like totally limit myself, which is pretty sad. Pretty sad that I have no self-control like that. But man, they're great for creativity and the ideas that you get from playing them are pretty amazing. So I need to be able to dabble, but not totally lose myself in them. Easier said than done. So I was just kind of working up some shapes to the helmet here, and I'm trying to figure out what shapes I want to see, basically. So a lot of times when I do this, I'm trying to see what shapes make sense. So some of this I'm throwing in just randomly, and maybe it sticks, maybe it doesn't. But being really open to changing whatever it is that I'm doing, not being set in stone with it. At this stage, I think about it like it's all about, design elements, basically. And I'm trying to figure out what kind of segmentation I want to put in there. Like where I want the breaks in the metal to be. That visor opening probably needs to be a lot bigger to somebody could actually see out of it. But, sometimes it's just about what it looks like, not about how functional it is, I guess. I think I'll do part of the chest plate too, just to make it look more than just like a floating helmet. And chime in and let me know when you join in, so I know how many people are paying attention. And again, don't hesitate to give me some ideas, and not just ideas for this particular rendition, but upcoming videos. I'm really trying to get this thing going, so I'll need some good food for thought on different video concepts. Or live streamed concepts, I should say. Do some big shoulder pieces here. I know, and this is like a dead-on, like straight shot. I should have just enabled symmetry on this. It's one of the neat things about this program too, is the symmetry feature. I could set that right down the middle and then just work on the one side. And it's kind of funny too, you can check your work and see how far off I was symmetrically from center. It's like, it kind of forces you to see that in your drawings. So I guess I'll use this for a minute just to kind of, and then you can toggle it on and off, so you can like put symmetry on for a bit, get some of this in place real quick, and then turn it off and further detail your work, so that you don't feel like you're cheating too awfully much. And it's nice too, because you can like go back and forth. Starting to look like a transformer or something. But you can draw from either side of the roller is what I was getting at. Yes, I don't know. Almost looking more like a robot form, but just keep playing with it. See if I can get it to look more like a knight. Just pretty much just having fun with it, anyways, I guess. So any ideas yet, folks, as far as like some of the potential ideas for live streams in the future? You think you'll come here to watch more drawing videos or more digital painting? What's your areas of interest? Alright, so let's see here. Let's see. Tierra Forest says I'm a newbie artist, so I'm more keen on drawing to get things right, but I'm also interested in painting. Okay, well then this should be a good live stream channel for you then, because that's the two main focuses of what I'm going to present here. I'm kind of the same way. Like I came up more as a comic artist guy, but I've been painting more and more, mainly because I do digital painting is more in tune with what I do for storyboards for television, but then you know, I just feel like more of a need to do that the more and more I draw. So I love doing line art like this, but then I don't know, I'm also equally impressed with what you can do with digital painting. So as I progress in that realm, I'll be sharing more and more of that. So alright, maybe like a sword off his back or something, or an axe, or what do you think, axe or a sword here? Or maybe something else. What other kind of weapon could we throw off his back? I guess if it was the axe head, we could do the axe head, which would probably be a little bit cooler to draw. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Big crazy axe. You guys feel free to chime in on concepts for this drawing too. You know, it's all about the interactivity. So, you know, if you got a cool idea that you think would point this piece in a better direction, that's I'm all for it. You can even critique me as long as it's constructive. I know I'm not perfect. Where are his eyes? Nifty Rosa says. They're actually somewhere in this area right there. But see how as soon as you draw them, they're not nearly as, he doesn't look as mean. You know, I always think like, you know, I guess I wanted this thing to look mean, but it's funny how as soon as you see their eyes, you're a little bit less likely to think they're villainous. It's like my big thing with scary movies. I always feel like movies are only scary as long as you don't know the character too well. You know, you start learning the character and where they're from and what their past are and all this in too much degree. Next thing you know, you're not afraid of them anymore. You know, it's like you gotta keep a bit of mystery in there. Adds to the eeriness of it. Just my opinion. Anyways, all right. So the axe head. Let's get like the little bezel look here. Some little cracks in the material, the stone, whatever this is. I guess it'd have to be stone if there's cracks in it. I think that thing's horribly out of whack. It's not quite straight, is it? What should I do there? Let's grab the old ruler and check it. Yeah, it's pretty off, but keep moving forward here. Yeah, and I'm real new to this platform, so just let me know if you're experiencing any problems, any lag, stuff like that. I'm not entirely sure how this works. Like I've live streamed before on YouTube, but this is well, I live streamed earlier today, but I didn't record properly, so I lost it. So this is my first recorded live stream on Twitch. So, like I said, if you see anything wrong, please let me know so I can fix the problem and get this all straightened out. Yeah, so I don't exactly know what I want to do with this mouthpiece here, just trying to figure it out. Yeah, it's getting to be too much, I think. So is anybody watching this drawing along or just watching the process? Watching the process. All right. Just curious. Well, it's just not a bad idea, you know, to do it in the. You don't have to do it the same way, obviously. You know, do it in your own style. But you learn a lot by that whole emulation process. You know, like I'm getting ready to do a video where I'll be inking over another artist's work. I'm still waiting to hear back on it, but they pretty much agreed to it already. But they're a big name artist, and I'll be inking over their work in a process. I don't know if I'll do it as a live stream or a YouTube video or what, but the main reason why I thought of presenting that idea was that every time I've inked over, you know, a more knowledgeable artist, you know, a really, you know, kick-ass comic book artist or whatever, I learned so much, you know, and I think a lot of artists maybe don't think about that in that regard. Like, you know, they think about, you know, inking and going, well, I want to do my own art. I don't want to ink somebody else's work. But man, there's no better way to learn in an intimate way the choices that artist made when they illustrated that. Inking over it, in my opinion, or, you know, like I said, I always walk away with a feeling like I learned immensely by inking over, you know, somebody that's better than me at a particular thing. By inking over their lines, I really get a feeling for what choices they made. So I always think it's really kind of a neat way to learn. So yeah, I'll be doing that video pretty soon. Hopefully I can get to it in the next few weeks. I'm still waiting on the artist to send me the high-res copy of the art so I can test my inks on it. Any other concepts anybody like to see drawn? Just keep doodling away on this until you give me something else. It's funny too how, like, certain days I've got all these ideas for something like this, and then like today I'm like struggling, like, where would I put the line breaks and where would I put the design in this suit? But other days I fly right through it. I really wish I knew what that was all about. It's funny how some days you're just inspired in different ways. I tend to draw different things better, I think. This guy almost reminds me of a more muscular version of Sauron or Saruman or whatever the heck his name is. Always got Saruman confused with Sauron. If anybody knows what I'm talking about there, the whole Lord of the Rings thing, but I never understood why the wizard's name was almost identical to the main villain's name. It was just like really strange to me. I kept getting confused on who they were talking about. Like, man, I think you would have just made that sound just a bit more different. TR4 says a Pokemon may not be a bad idea, but I don't know if you'd want to draw one. It's not that I wouldn't want to draw one. I wouldn't know where to start. I don't draw those often enough to know without pulling reference. So that might not be a bad idea for a future live stream to do a couple of those. It would definitely be more of a test for me because I'm not, I don't draw them as much, so I wouldn't, that wouldn't be in my comfort zone as much. But that's not to say I wouldn't do it, because honestly, that's something I think is always important, is to try things that aren't in your comfort zone. I think it's actually really important because it forces you to kind of learn, try new things, and ultimately makes you better at drawing. But I'd want to have some reference in front of me, because I definitely couldn't draw them from memory, because I don't quite know what they look like that well. So we'll save that for a future one. Now, did you guys get alerted to the fact that I was live streaming in any way, or did you just happen to see my channel on something? How did that work? I'm still trying to kind of figure out the whole process with this. So were you alerted that I was doing this? You're on the main stream on the creative page. Oh, okay. Cool. Well, I appreciate you stopping by and checking it out. I don't know what else to add to this guy. I'll try to make it look like this area up here is flat, but has a bit of a glare to it. You got to figure out what the rules are for background music too. It'd be nice to have a little bit of music kicking in the background. I think that's all legit on here, right? I don't think you have to even worry about it. I've definitely heard other artists, or game players, everybody just doing it. So always kind of weirded out by that stuff. Like, is that gonna affect you posting your video later? Do you got to worry about content strikes, all that stuff? I still got to figure a lot of this stuff out on here. Yeah, so I'm going to sit there and try to get more ideas going, whether or not I post some questions, some Q&As or whatever on the Facebook page, the DeviantArt, stuff like that. But I'll probably just start with a couple tutorial-based drawing sessions. Like obviously this one is just kind of taking a request and drawing it, but on the next ones we'll have more of an idea going into the live stream, which I'm sure it'll still get pulled into a different direction, because it's been my experience that a lot of the a lot of the live streams, at least the ones that I've done, they'll start in one direction, but then, you know, people are asking questions and, you know, you want to make everybody happy, so you start to kind of deviate and go into some different, you know, areas to answer everybody's question. But I think going in with at least one or two main key points is a good idea. So we'll try that. Yeah, I'm not sure about the music either. I think it's not frowned upon. I think that it's probably fine until you upload it to something else. Like I'm wondering after I finish these videos if I should upload them to YouTube, just because I read something earlier that Twitch only holds them for 14 days or something like that, and it just seems like a waste, you know. So I'd want to upload them to YouTube or something like that. But then I would imagine that that's when the audio strikes would come in, because YouTube's a lot more strict about audio in the use of the videos. So all right, so I think I'll call it good on this dude. I mean, obviously I could just sit here and keep detailing him for forever because all the little details and stuff like that. But I think we'll move on to something else. Any suggestions out there? Yeah, definitely have to watch the music on YouTube, I think. So maybe I just won't do that. But it's got to be, you know what I guess I probably could do or get away with is pull the music from the YouTube partner program or whatever and play that in the background. I don't know if any of them are long enough to really do something like that, but that'd be the only way. Or just find music that is, you know, right free or whatever you want to call it, copyright free. Can't remember what they call it right now, but it's like free use or something like that. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and let's do a different sketch now. That one looks kind of weird. All right, what do we got for the next one? Oh, good night to you. You out here? Well, thanks, TR4. I appreciate you stopping by. Okay, so let's try something else. Any requests there from anybody? Actually, I need to keep working on expressions. Maybe I'll do that. Oh, good drawing of the night. Got it. My bad. Yeah. Yeah, that was, I should have caught that one. Sorry. Well, I appreciate that. I'm glad you liked the night. I thought you were saying good night. Yeah, good night. Sweet dreams. Hello, View Arts. How are you? Yeah, so chime in with any suggestions, folks. Kind of keeps me moving here, because if not, I'm just going to start drawing random stuff. So, got to keep the digital pen moving. I need to start working on more expressions. I've been wanting to get better at these, just because there's so many little details to expression and getting it right. Of course, it's pretty hard to tell a good story without a nice array of expressions. I always find the jawline is hard to get right from this angle. I don't think I like this one. Oh well, gotta struggle through it, right? Soft erase and try to bring it back. I try not throwing the drawing away right at the start. I try not throwing it away at all. One of the things that I always think about whenever I want to just pitch a sketch and move on, and, start over or whatever, is back when I did caricatures for parties for a lot of years, and you don't really have time to keep starting over and trying to make it perfect. So one of the things I did to kind of fight that urge was I started drawing with only pens, only Sharpie markers, and I'll tell you, that teaches you a lot about your art, because you can't, especially with a crowd sitting there in front of you just waiting for their picture, but by doing that you can't stop, you can't erase, you can't go backwards, you just have to keep moving forward, and the only thing you can do to fix it is to draw over it, or ink past it. So that's a good exercise if you ever want to really force yourself to speed up, or force yourself to kind of make some other decisions with your art to get past it. Draw only with pens and markers, and yeah, it's pretty neat. It can be scary at first, or especially because I had people that were like, all right, you got to get my face right. Don't draw my kid funny. I got to look just like my kid. But yeah, it was a pretty eye-opening experience, I'll tell you that. But towards the end, I did it for years, and after a while, I didn't think twice about it. My biggest worry was, did I bring enough paper and enough Sharpies? And I just show up and start drawing away. Now it's funny because digital, you got all these opportunities to adjust the work as you go, so you really don't have to worry too much about it. You've got pretty much too many ways to change your work, and like Control Z. I was watching somebody's video, art video of some kind, and because I'm like a junkie, I watch as much art as I can from other artists, so that it gives me food for thought and things like that. But they were like, really condemning the whole Control Z thing. And but they had some, unique points. I wish I could remember what artist it was now, but they were like saying that pretty much it's, you shouldn't have it. You shouldn't even use it. Just because it's on the computer, don't hit it, don't use it. And I'm like, man, I use Control Z like it's my best friend. I mean, it's like I use it all the time. But they had good points in saying that, you have to work through it. You gotta not immediately resort to multiple undos, and that ultimately it becomes a crutch. And I kind of can relate to that. I mean, the other part that I would say I can't relate to that or agree with that entirely is the fact that, you know, you wouldn't revert back to the tools of an old Renaissance artist when we have computers today. It's like people knock computer art and digital drawing and all that stuff, but it doesn't make sense because, you're not necessarily going to just go back to, chisel and hammer and doing sculptures when, there's technology now. You're going to use technology. It's just the next step. You don't go backwards because it makes you, you think it makes you less of an artist or something like that. I really don't think it makes you less of an artist. You just have to, use those tools and create new and better art, new and better ideas, and constantly progress. But, some people are scared of change. I get that on my YouTube channel a lot. Like, people are like saying stuff like, I'll get the occasional comment like, you're a digital artist, you suck, or something. They'll say something stupid, and it's just like, well, tell me how you really feel. It's like, sorry, I'm not going to be offended if you say I suck anyways. You got to tell me why I suck. It's not enough to just come here and say, you suck. You're digital arts, or they'll say digital art's cheating, something like that. And I'm like, I try not to respond to negativity like that, but some of them get to me, and I'll, write something back. I try to keep the gloves on, but I'll say, hey, it's just art. I mean, what am I doing different? For one, I'm drawing on a screen, you dope. Like, it's not any different. I have a pen in my hand and I'm drawing on a screen. It's kind of just like paper. And really what I try to do with all this stuff is always make sure that I emulate traditional as much as possible. Even to the sake of, like, sometimes, not trying to redo things in the digital way. Like, even though I take advantage of it a lot. But, like, one of them is when you draw an eye. You go like this. And I just did this earlier today, so I can't attest to this all the way. But there's times that I will cheat, especially if there's a deadline involved. But you can draw an eye just like this. Well, and like what you guys, if you were still watching, watch the symmetry roller. Same concept. And I can flip that eye real easy, and I can do the other eye. I mean, why not? It just makes sense. It's a time saver, and if you're, I guess the way I look at it is, if you're looking at the clock and you're trying to get a project done for, we'll say, a client, because I do client work and stuff like that, then, yeah, I'm going to do that. It'd be silly not to. But, if you're trying to get better and you're trying to test yourself, then that's different. Then, yeah, do that on your own time. Sit back and draw it from side to side. Practice your symmetry. It's very important to practice symmetry. But it's amazing how some people are just offended by digital art in general, and immediately by using it, you're somehow copying out and cheating. I just think that's kind of hilarious almost. Like, really? That's what you get out of that? That's pretty crazy. But whatever. Everybody's entitled to their their likes and dislikes. I think that ear looks a bit whacked out. And I just keep making these incremental changes because, I know this is like really skewed, doesn't look great. But I just keep adjusting it as I go. It's the whole beauty of sketching. Just making these incremental changes until something looks right. I was watching another artist, and they said, just keep changing your work. Just keep changing it. Just keep changing it. Make changes over. And it was funny, but it was such a good point. Like, that's really all it is. The only thing that you're doing is training your eye to spot flaws. and then not being afraid to make changes to those flaws. Because like we all got these books and books or sketch pads full of bad drawings, and really, it's not really a thing to say, oh, look, at this time I drew horribly. I don't think that's really it, because we can almost always go back and look at the same era in our life and spot a couple good drawings we did, but we'll correlate it to, I was inspired right there. I don't think that's it. I mean, it's definitely part of it, but I think it's, no, at that point, you just weren't giving up until you got a good drawing. You can just keep working on them and revisiting them. That's also why I think it's really important to like step back from your drawing and come back like a week later, sometimes a year later, and improving upon that same drawing. I think that you learn a lot by that process because, all you're really doing is saying, okay, based on what I know now about shape, form, lighting, whatever, I'm going to make some different decisions that I wouldn't have made then. That's all they are. They're just decisions. And you're not necessarily any better or worse. You just made different decisions based on what you know. But yeah, it's the other thing I like to do is like look at an artist that that does a certain thing better than me, and not necessarily copying their style, but learning from it. I would say more than copying it. So if I'm struggling with hair, I'm gonna go to an artist that does really dynamic, flowing, cool looking hair, and I'm gonna draw from them for a bit, or just study it from life, which is really what we're all copying anyways. So, or stylizing. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep rambling unless you guys give me some ideas here. So let me know what you think would be cool to draw, or if you got a question on a specific thing. Alright, let's Spider-Man. Okay. I guess I can do something, maybe not a whole Spider-Man piece, because he's actually a time-consuming character to draw, but let me see here. Plus, if I do like a whole body pose of Spider-Man, he's like one of those characters that I have to like get in the zone to draw, mainly for the body pose, because he's like so wiry, and it's like real easy to do a bad Spider-Man pose, which I probably will do here as I'm talking about it. Let's see. Where to put the legs? It's always the hard part with Spider-Man. Kind of picturing like he's kind of positioned off the wall or something. I'll do a couple quick thumbnails and then pick one, because like I said, it's almost like I gotta warm up to do him, unless I do just like the easy thing, which would be just like a head and bust or whatever. Let me do this, since I got a downward one right there. Let me try a bit of an upturn. They say it's easier to do the upper torso first before the head. By they, I mean like artist Jim Lee mentioned it in one of his videos. So I've been trying to do that lately, but I'm so used to drawing the head first. It's just always been like just the way that I've kind of designed the character. And then you always want to tilt pelvic as much as possible from the torso. Let's have this shoulder up. Well, maybe we'll like hide his head back a bit or something. So one leg way up and I always like these shots of Spider-Man where he looks like he's like falling in the air or something, you know. You know he's not because he's Spider-Man. He'll catch himself. But it's always like a cool, you know, rendition of him when he looks like he's almost out of control. And I probably should be doing this thumbnail smaller. Make sure it's not a separate layer. Seems like thumbnails work better when they're tinier. Like you can work out more of the information from a distance, which helps it in some ways. Maybe this arm like way back or something. No. I don't know. Definitely be a tricky character at times. But I'd have to say one of my favorite characters, regardless, even if he is tough to draw. I'd have to say if I was able to pick one character to draw for a book series, this would be the character. Probably Spider-Man, then next would probably be Batman. Nope. Just try and clean this one up a bit. This can be interesting too, like trying to save a bad sketch. Seeing how far you can take even a bad thumbnail or sketch and try to fix it. What's some of the favorites out there for superheroes? For anybody watching, what's your favorite superhero character? Anybody? Hello, 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 hello. Deadpool, yeah, Spider-Man, Deadpool, yeah, that's pretty in tune with. Oh my God, that's a horrible fight. Jeez. Yeah, I like both of those as well. Batman, yeah. Yep, those are all the main ones, are the cool ones I like as well. I know, I didn't even say Deadpool, but that's another one I wouldn't mind drawing. He's pretty sweet. Especially after that new movie. They nailed that one. That was cool. I was pretty pleased with that one. Oh, Punch Twit says, "Hey, I'm back again. Did you see my comment about the purple hair girl?" Yeah, unfortunately that stream we did earlier with that one didn't get saved. I uploaded the artwork to my Patreon, so you guys are welcome to go there and download it. I made it as a free download on Patreon, but yeah, I would have liked to save that video, so everybody could have saw it. But that was he's talking about the live stream we did earlier. It was like my very first demo one to kind of get this stuff rolling. And silly me, I didn't record it or have it set up for Twitch to record it, and it got lost. That was about, God, I want to say that was about an hour, wasn't it? Shredder would be cool to draw. Yeah, that would be sweet. Are you saying Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? That Shredder? Yes, that Shredder. Yeah, that would be cool. Shredder was a pretty cool character. Or not was, I imagine they still do. I don't, see, and this was messed up. I don't watch a lot of the newer ones. Like the movie, it just didn't look enticing enough for me to even check it out. Which is sad, because I loved Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when I was a kid. Like, I just loved the animated series. I could go back and watch those right now. Those were like really well done for the time. And what's so neat about them is they just, they were created in our time. It's not like they're some old ancient design or character. They were, I think they were, when I watched them as a kid, that's when they were first developed and brought out. Man, they took off. Such a crazy concept too, just Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's like, man, they were just trying to throw whatever things together they could think of, and it just caught on. It's really cool. Alright, there's Spider-Man. I don't think it came out as bad as it started off. It started off as a really bad drawing, and his arm's like really long, but just a sketch. Oh, nice. You're going to save that purple hair girl as your desktop? Well, I'm flipping honored. Thank you. I guess it does have a little more personal value because you helped design it, right? Alright, so what else? Any more sketch ideas? I got a few things going on here. Darn near a comic book page. It looks like Peter Parker over here is like freaking out over something. Maybe this villain coming over to get Mary Jane. Or, I don't know, that doesn't really look like Mary Jane or Peter Parker, but just trying to paint a picture here. Alright, just looking for names for superheroes or something just now. Yeah, well, just give me an idea. Like, is there anything you guys want to learn to draw, or you just want to watch me draw stuff? Like, just tell me what it is you would like to see. I can do another sketch of a character as long as it's one I'm familiar with, or if you got a question on how to draw a particular thing, then I can answer that for you. Anybody? I'm kind of like wondering what the delay is here, like how long it takes for you guys to hear what I'm saying and comment back. How to draw faces, eyes, lips. I would just like to see you do some cool work, to be honest. Thank you, I appreciate that. Faces, eyes, lips. I'll do a quick rundown of that real quick, just because I feel like I should do some kind of tutorial thing. So, the real basic short answer to that is, if you just break down everything, I'll start with the lips, for instance, right? If you just break down lips into their basic shape, okay, so you got, it's an M, it's a line, and it's a U, a curve or whatever. So that's the basic shape of it. So if you were to look, and I try to always think about it like, if you do each part, we'll say the top lip, right? So there's the top lip. Real simplified, real basic. Something to remember is that the top lip has this negative space or recessed space like that. So that's why you get those, those ridges right there, right? The bottom lip is basically just a line. It curves back this way, and then it curves back and down, and this is why you get the line going downward to the chin, like that. So that's how you would do a mouth, and that's really one of the hardest spots in the face. Well, the nose, I guess, is pretty tricky, but the nose, the real simple way to look at it is a downward arrow, a little bit less of a downward arrow, and then an upward pyramid shape. That's the real basic straight-on shot of, oh, thanks for letting me know about the delay there, Punch Twitch, which I gotta admit is still a really funny name, Punch Twitch. So yeah, so there's, there's a pyramid and a diamond shape at the bottom, right? And then there's like another diamond shape or triangular shape this way in reverse, and that's where the brow is. So once you start to like see these little shapes, it becomes a lot easier to put it all together and make a face. Like for instance, the eye. The eye can seem real complex, right? You'll see some people will draw a circle, and then they'll do like this football shape in front of it, and that's kind of their way to say, here's the eye opening, here's the shape of the eyeball, and then making it all work together, doing the eyelid, top and bottom, the pupil, and working through it like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't do it that way. I understand what they're getting at when they do that, but I actually like to do it, like this. Like all right, first I like to position the eye, and you can position the eye by going, okay, here's the brow, here's pretty much the space that the eyes are going to take. I'm going to do like the larger, in my depiction, the larger female eyes, for, stylization or whatever. And you can see I didn't do a whole lot of the alignment, which I should have done, but I generally start with the alignment stuff. So say I want the eyes to go across there or whatever. So the way that I look at it is just, okay, I know it's a circular shape, and I know that for comic drawing, I'm going to do a trace of the eyes with the eyelashes. So I just hurry up and get the opening that I picture. And the opening to me is kind of like that football shape, but it's usually down by the tear duct. It usually goes up, then back out, then around, and it meets the back part of the eye. This is skewed, but so then the top eyelid comes around. It passes kind of over this part, and to me that's where the eyelash comes off like that. So I pretty much just draw that right in. And then to me this part comes back and up. And what it's doing is that's the part where it's receding back into space and kind of coming together. So I'm kind of over illustrating it right there to hopefully explain what I'm thinking. And then this part goes down, and you get the tear duct, and then this is the rounded part of the side of the eyes. And that's the part that I think too many people forget to draw in there, that you've got to compensate for the area where this recedes back into space, here and here. And the rest of it's easy. Like, again, this is a very oddly shaped eye. But, for comics, you got the big shapes of the eyelids. So let me get rid of that, and I'll draw it on the other one to show you what I'm talking about. I know I'm doing this pretty messy. Let me zoom in here a bit. So the eyelid, again, I would kind of throw that in there as one big shape for the top, one big shape for the bottom. That. Then I would picture like how much of the eyelid do I want to see. And all this stuff is subjective to the expression. So if they're freaked out or scared, then you're going to see very little of that eyelid. If they're, because their eye's going to be so wide open that this will start to get smaller. And then the way the eyebrows are sitting in response, if it's a plain expression, and the eyebrows are way back, way up here. If they're angry, they're way down here, stuff like that. So you get a lot of expression with the eyebrows. The iris is about 1/3 of the eye, generally a little bit bigger, especially for stylized comic rendering. The pupil, you can tell a lot with the pupil as well, like the positioning of it. If the pupil is touching the eyelid or the eyelash up there, well, there it just looks like she's looking up. But generally, it'll make them look sleepy. So if it's sitting midway like this, it makes them look more alert. You're going to get a drop shadow from the top eye. You're going to get a glare or two, depending on how many you like to do in your style or whatever. And then from here, you just add like little breaks in the eyelashes, and you see a lot of comic artists get very stylized with this part. And that's really it. That's that's not the greatest eye, but that's all the thought that I put into constructing an eye. And then, like I said, the other part of it is if the eye is like this, where the pupil's touching the top of the eyelash, top eyelid, then they're either determined or angry, or and that reinforced with the eyebrow. There's somebody that's mad, something like that. So it's all those little things. And then if you get so expression's a really big part of it. So you learn how to draw these basic shapes, like even this with the nose over here. If I take it over here, and I go, there's our little diamond shape, but that's just our reference point. That's obviously not a nose. I can just remember that diamond shape, and I can draw in. So if I was to do it without the diamond shape, because what happens is after you get these shapes in your mind, you'll start jumping steps. And that's why it's so hard to watch a real professional artist, and you're like in amazement and going, how are they doing that? It's because they're jumping steps that they've already put the time in to figure all this stuff out. So they just start doing it, but all they're doing is they're skipping past the fundamentals because they've done it so much. So like that's me overdrawing a nose, and you'll notice in comics you don't ever see noses, especially female noses, drawn this much. In comics they're like, it's even hard for me to do because like I always want to overdraw. Like that, this would be a nose in comics. It's like really, there's a bunch of skipped lines, and it's very, what do you call it? stylized, but just quick representation of it. It's not overly drawn out, which leads to the speed and the style, in my opinion. So that's how they do a nose, and then as far as the eye expression, again, it's just practice, though, Punch Twitch. I appreciate you saying that, but it's really just tons of practice. Like, I've logged lots and lots of hours into each area of these sketches. Like, I was just practicing eyes the other night, and like I wanted to get like a nice scared look, So this is how I, was studying from pictures, and this is like the one I came up with that I thought looked the most like fearful look, Slight tilt on the angle of the eye like this, not much, but just enough. The eyelid gets dwarfed from this perspective. The eyebrow is way far back and curved like this. And then the pupil, or the iris, sorry, is it has white on both sides of it. So it's so small in comparison, because that eye is stretched so far open that, and that pupil's got to be really tiny. So it helps to display fear. The glares, that's all still up to you and where you like to see them. I would add more glares, like on the front of the eye and things like that, just because, again, the eye is so wide open, and maybe they're, touch of crying in there, so their eye's wet and glossed over. So you got to think of all those things, and then, you do same thing with the eyelashes. You just kind of trace the shape of the eyelashes, and then if you want to get really detailed or whatever, you can do the ridge of the eye. A lot of people in stylized drawings won't add that, but if you're looking at an eye up close, it's always there. So you just got to remember, like if you're really close to the eye, you get the ridge of the eye like this, then the top of the eyelid, or where the eyelid meets the brow. But there's always this nice heavy ridge that you'll see it in paintings, but you almost never see it in comic drawing, which I think is kind of strange. Some artists will do it, but it's more rare for some reason. Like, they just skip it and they put just a big fat heavy eyelash right there. So, excuse the horrible quick sketches, but I'm trying to just kind of illustrate those concepts more than anything. Oh, stuck on buffering? Can you guys still hear me or no? Yeah, let me know if you guys can still hear me. So are you just seeing the buffering? Yeah, I wonder what's going on there. Yeah, not sure what happened there. I think I'm still recording, but I could be wrong. So if so, I'm just going to go ahead and wrap this up. I was just typing back and forth to everybody on the live stream. Something went astray. Not sure what the deal is there. But at any rate, thanks very much for tuning in to this live stream, and hope you found some good information here. There'll be more on the way, so let me know what you'd like to see in the future, and that's what I'll bring to you. So as always, keep drawing, keep having fun, and I will talk to you soon.